I'm not one to do the shameless plug, because Fujifilm doesn't give me anything. Well, Fujifilm did give me a couple free hats and a t-shirt, so there's that, I guess. They don't have to give me anything. The cameras give me everything that, well, I won't go down that road. There's no perfect camera. And the only thing actually people have complained to me about on Fujifilm, and it's not a complaint, I mean, I've said that up front, is that, you know, extreme low light, high ISO performance, I mean, there's room for improvement on Fujifilm. There's no perfect camera. Nikon has their issues. Fujifilm doesn't really have any issues. I mean, you could call that an issue, but Sony has many, countless issues. I started off, I think my first camera was a Yashica 124 Mat G, which of course is a medium format camera, twin lens reflex. I've owned like 4 or 5 of those, including throughout photography school. I owned 6, 7 Pentax. I started in Nikon film cameras. I don't know what my first Nikon film camera was. I think it was a Nikon F3. I had endless Nikon 8008, 6006s. Throughout photography school, I rolled my own film. I had a pair of Nikon F4S cameras. I still love that damn camera. If it wasn't for processing film, I would still own it. Kinda, so no, I guess I wouldn't. I've had enough of film. The one thing that actually rekindled my love of photography was the 6.7 Pentax, which is a super huge, slow, clunky, medium format camera. When you hit the shutter release button, it went chirk-clunk, chirk-clunk. But man, I processed my own E6, i.e. chrome, and those are just exquisite. It'll just make your crotch melt. And there are these times in photography where you just, you get burned out, especially if you're doing it for a job. Nikon D3, man, you'll actually notice Nikon sales when you actually look at the full spread of Nikon stock. When the Nikon D3 came out, all photographers wet their diapers. Nikon stock went up like that's a huge spike. Nikon D3 really set everybody on there. It's like, wow, this camera is built like a tank. It's incredible. It's just a cat's ass. The digital cameras before that were, just too buggy, battery issues, issue here, issue there. D3 is still an incredible camera. Never bought into mirrorless hype, and mirrorless hype is still hype. When I went out with what's his face, he was talking about how huge this camera is. It's like, well, this is mirrorless camera. Mirrorless is supposed to be small and lightweight. Of course, I know this is medium format. The hype that is mirrorless is still hype. It's not smaller. Lenses, big fast lenses are still huge. So everything I said about the hype of mirrorless is still hype. None of that has changed. You notice people aren't saying anymore that mirrorless is smaller, mirrorless is more lightweight. You can't say this is more lightweight. With this lens on here, this is a nice tiny little camera, but that's not important. Important is the je ne sais quoi. There's the perfect word, right? The je ne sais quoi of Fujifilm. As someone that takes cameras apart and fixes cameras and fixes lenses and been taking stuff apart my entire life, I can say I've got more respect for Fujifilm. I got Fujifilm and Nikon tattooed on my hand. I grew up with Nikon. I grew up with Pentax too. I had a lot of, God, I must have owned like 5 K1000 Pentaxes. At least. Maybe more than that. I'd buy them in the pawn stores. So would every other photography student, however. We didn't have eBay back in the day in the early 1990s. God, I'm starting to sound old. For those moments that really make your eyeballs open up. And I've had well over, no joke, 1,000 people say to me something to the effect of, I never would have bought a Fujifilm except for your ranting and raving. I know you're not sponsored by anybody, and I'm sure as hell not. They say, some of them say, I don't particularly, find you the most amicable person in the world, but, when you make a recommendation, it's a good recommendation. I'm so happy I bought a Fujifilm, and I bought it because of you. I never would have considered considered a Fujifilm camera until you kept praising him so highly. I'm glad everybody's happy. There's no such thing as everybody being happy. There's no perfect camera, not Nikon, sure as hell not Sony, and nor is Fujifilm. Fujifilm doesn't have the huge glass that Nikon does, and everybody damn well knows it. They're working on that. Of course, Nikon doesn't have a medium format camera either. Fujifilm does. The reason I sold my Nikon D810 is not really because the Nikon D850 was coming out, but because this is, for everything that I was enjoying, you don't need any speed for product photography, and I'm not a landscape photographer at all. I mean, I do love doing some landscape stuff, but I'm not a guy that stands out there waiting 3 hours for the sunrise to fall or to rise. I mean, I'm too old for that crap, and too lazy. But everything my Nikon D810 was for, I was not using anymore, so I got rid of it in place of the GFX. It's definitely taken over that. But I've been more happy, and also I should have brought my X100F, you know. Leaf shutter camera, absolutely incredible. I've never been more happy. Other than those 3 happy periods in life. My Nikon F4S, I had a pair of them in photography school. Nikon F4S, that was the peak moment where, you know, your crotch was on fire, so to say, for photography. Having a lot of fun, rolling my own black and white film. My 6.7 Pentax, I mean, those huge-ass 6x7 chromes are just incredible, of which I still got a ton of them in boxes. Wow. Nikon D3. So I think there's 4 bumps in my life in photography. Nikon F4S, the 6.7 Pentax, the Nikon D3. You know, until then, everything was like, it's digital, yeah, no, it works, but I mean, it's kind of a buggy piece of shit, you know, battery issues. Nikon D3 is like, damn, film's dead! Film was already dead, but the Nikon D3 really made it dead. Someone's going to say, film's not dead! It's like, yeah, it is, film's dead. And that 4th bump has been this stuff. And I should have brought out the X100Fs, because someone's going to say, what about the X100F? Well, I've still got that camera, I just didn't bring it out here. I had to haul out every camera every time I make a damn video. So Fujifilm is that 4th bump. And now that I know all the specifications of the Nikon D850, it's going to be a plastic camera made in Thailand, you know, $3,300. That's wonderful. It's going to have great buffer. It's going to have a great ISO performance, low light performance. Yeah, and this is how excited I am over the Nikon D850. Don't take this the wrong way. That's how excited I am over another Thailand polycarbonate plastic Nikon camera, which is what I've been saying now for the past year and a half. A full-frame version of the Nikon D500. Okay, wonderful. Exact same pixel pitch, even though it's a different sensor. Fujifilm rocks. Fujifilm does not pay me. They don't give me anything unless you consider a hat and a t-shirt something, which I guess that counts for something, right? Fujifilm's the cat's ass. Currently, they are by far the best camera company. They're doing everything. Well, no one could say they're doing everything right. Even the higher-ups of Fujifilm's like, you know, we got some things to do here and there. So, I mean, I would be blowing smoke up Fuji's butt if I actually said that. But I really can't say, generally speaking, they are doing everything right. No camera company is perfect. Made in Japan, made in Japan. I've had more I love this camera. I want to have sex with this camera. The only two cameras that I've set, and including the GFX. However, she's a bit obese like me. The only cameras that I could say that, not literally, that I want to have sex with, not literally, okay? Nikon D3 and the 6.7 Pentax and the Nikon F4Ss. I had a pair of them. I had 3 of them at one point in time, because I got one cheap off of a buddy who was leaving photography school. He's like, oh, I sell my camera. I was like, damn, that's cheap. I'll go buy it. Like, you already got 2 of them. I was like, I don't care at that price. I'll buy it. Fujifilm kicks ass. I have a responsibility. I don't have a responsibility. I mean, Fujifilm isn't paying me. I'm not on anybody's payroll. But, I mean, I have a responsibility because I hate for anybody to piss away money. You know, and I have no affiliate links. You know, I'm not getting any kickbacks from anybody. No affiliate links in over 4,000 videos. But I have a responsibility to make, you know, when someone says, is this the camera for me? It's like, you know, what do you want? You going to be shooting low-light events at high ISO? You know, Nikon D500 or D850 would be a better choice for you. Nikon is a better camera for, you know, shooting in some seedy club in the butt crack of night, in the middle of the night, than Fuji is. Fujifilm does not have incredible high ISO performance. It doesn't have the big-ass glass. And while the buffer is really good on the XT2, you know, it doesn't match an XQD card, and it's never going to match an XQD card. It's okay. I have enjoyed these two cameras more exuberantly, more happily, more joyfully than I have any other camera God, I've had a lot of cameras through my hands. And like I said, I'm not really, honestly, I've got one coming. I got 3 coming, actually. One for testing, one for me to own, and one to go to a buddy. Whichever one I get first, I want to be testing. I'm actually not excited about the D850. I'm just not. I gotta be honest with you. You know, I'll pound the hell out of it. I got tons of Nikon glass. I got every Fujifilm lens made, by the way. I got way too many lenses, over 400 lenses. But to be honest with you, even though the Nikon D500 is incredible and I got a D850 coming, I know what the D850 is. I'm so much happier packing this camera around. I hired to hold this up to Chicago. I was even using it in the airport. My God, I mean, I just love the, excuse my language, I'm about to cuss. I love the shit out of Fujifilm. I said it. Look at my eye. No sponsorship, no affiliate links, no kickbacks. I love the shit out of Fujifilm. I hope Fujifilm doesn't hear that. Go, oh my God, that guy's cussing. That's from the guy that takes cameras apart, fixes them, tears them down, takes lenses apart, fixes them. I know I've got, even if I'm a biggest butthole on earth, which I'm certainly not, I'm actually a nice guy. People call me the angry photographer, but I'm not angry. I know I've got more experience with lenses and cameras than all the other top 10 photography channels combined. Does that sound egotistical? Fine, it's egotistical. It's also still the damn truth. And also, definitely, undeniably, the only person with no affiliate links are the top 10 or 20. They've all got affiliate links. If that's what they want to do, fine. Means I don't trust them. You know, hey, this is a great camera. Click the link below. I get a kickback. So cheers to Fujifilm. I'm a grumpy puss too. You made me happier than a hog in a pile of poo. See, Northerners don't know that, but like hogs, I'm fat. I'm not that fat. Hogs like to wallow around in their own poo in the dirty mud. So there's an old Southern saying like, happier than a hog in a pile of poo. I could use a cuss word in there. You figure out probably what it is. Happier than a woodpecker in a lumberyard. And I'm glad that at least 1,000 people have told me. At least! No exaggeration. Like, you know, I never considered Fujifilm. And you talked about how great they are. Got one. I'm so happy. Yay! So that makes me happy. And it takes a lot to make me happy because I'm almost never happy. It's like, why are you never happy? You a sourpuss? It's like, I don't know. Why don't you take care of a wife dying of cancer for over 10 years? You know? Got PTSD. Yeah, I do. I'm also fat, bald, and ugly and tattooed. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm not pretty like you. Of course, you know, when you die of old age, it's like, oh my God, she left such a pretty corpse. Shut the lid, bury it. He's like, she's so pretty. Yeah, only on the outside. She's ugly on the inside. So, that's that. This is my strange way of saying Fujifilm is just effing awesome. And this is an honest video. I love the crap out of Fujifilm. I don't like, however, that Fujifilm stuck the Q button on the X100F right where my damn thumb goes. Fujifilm, you should have stuck the Q button way up there, but every time I rest my thumb there, the Q button is in the way. Damn it. Damn it. Nobody's perfect. I wish they'd consulted with me before sticking the Q button right there where everybody's thumb goes. Like, you grab the camera, and it's like, oh, you're landing it right on the Q button. Why did you do that, Fuji? Why? Why did you do it? Why? That was fake drama, by the way. Whew. I wanted to make this video about Fujifilm because I love the shit out of Fujifilm. That should be a bumper sticker. Someone should make that a Fujifilm. They would never make a bumper sticker that says, I love the shit out of Fujifilm. Thank you for watching. I'm also like unofficial tech support for Fujifilm, and by that I'm obviously unofficial. But I get calls in the middle of the night, emails in the middle of the night. How am I going to figure out something about? Because the X-T2 is quite complicated. I mean, it can be, especially someone's never had one before. I'll get tech support questions in the middle of the night. Someone will call me in the middle of the night. I was sleeping, getting a call. It's like, hey, I can't figure this out about my Fujifilm. I've done a lot of tech support for Fujifilm. It's like, it's the middle of the night. I can't call Fuji. Who can I call about my camera? Oh, I know. I'll contact the fat, bald tattoo dude. He knows the answer, which I do know the answer. 99 times out of 100, I know the answer anyway. 99 out of 100. There you go. This was a crazy video, but this is my birthday. So on my birthday, I'm allowed to make crazy videos. Love to Fujifilm. Who loves you, baby? I was Telly Savalas, right? Remember Kojak? I was sucking on a lollipop. Who loves you, baby? You're not old enough to remember that TV show, are you? You damn millennial scumbags. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, shit, that was priceless.